The Traitors 3 Spoilers Episode 5 from January 23 sends 2 more people packing. A 5th episode for The Traitors 3 debuted on Thursday night. The Traitors were reacting to what happened at the recent roundtable where Bob the drag queen was banished. Bob had tried to steer the discussions toward someone else, but Boston Rob Mariano flipped it back on him. Drama ensued, and Bob went home. Rob, Danielle Reyes, and Carolyn Weiger were the 3 remaining traitors. They had to murder someone else. The trio was not on the same page, and Carolyn felt like Rob wasn't listening to her. An untenable atmosphere has developed among the trio. Who did the traitors murder in Episode 5? The traitors murdered Robin Dixon from the Real Housewives of Potomac to open the episode. Rob pushed for it, Danielle caved, and Carolyn went the majority despite putting forward other options. Drama in the castle. Wes Bergman from the Traitors started pushing the idea that Rob was a traitor. Lord Ivar Mountbatten took that information to Rob, who then confronted Wes. Wes denied the accusation to Rob, but then admitted in a confessional that he had done it. Danielle had a segment where she spoke about not letting Rob push her around, but also that she needed a traitor to work with, and it wasn't Carolyn. A challenge for money and safety. The players were asked riddles by host Alan Cumming. Players could step forward if they knew the answer to earn the team money. Answering correctly also meant nominating a player to win a shield. 2 players could win shields. The trick was that people answering later could knock those people off the nomination board. Players could also answer more than one riddle correctly. Derek Levasseur from Big Brother and Tom Sandoval nominated themselves. Danielle nominated Dolores Catania and took down Derek. He was not happy. Chrishell Stause got one right and replaced Tom's picture with hers. Danielle replaced Chrishell with Derek. Sierra Miller replaced Derek with herself. Dolores and Sierra finished the challenge with shields. They also won $15,000 for the prize pot. Tense roundtable on the Traitors 3. Many names were brought up at the Episode 5 roundtable. Rob, Sierra, and Nikki had the most detractors. Rob deflected very well, all while not attacking anyone else at the roundtable. Many people were suspicious of him, but unwilling to take the shot. Nikki Garcia was banished in a very one-sided vote. Nikki was very heartbroken that her close allies also turned on her. A quick summary of the Traitors 3, Episode 5. Robin Dixon and Nikki Garcia were eliminated during Episode 5. That's 8 players who have now been eliminated from the Traitors 3. More news from the Traitors 3. Wells Adams revealed he was tipped off about being at risk. The Bachelor Nation vet had some interesting things to share. Host Alan Cumming warned this season gets intense and brutal. Alan added that he feared a fight would break out at an upcoming roundtable. Tony Vlachos predicted Carolyn will win the Traitors 3. Tony won Survivor twice and feels Carolyn has what it takes to win the Traitors. Episode 5 of the Traitors Season 3 aired on January 23. Delivering another thrilling dose of treachery, betrayal, and drama. As the cast continued their desperate quest for trust amidst deceit, the episode culminated in 2 shocking exits that left viewers reeling. Here's an in-depth breakdown of the episode, the key moments that led to the eliminations, and the ripple effects these departures caused. Morning strategy chaos. The episode began with the players reeling from the previous night's round table, where suspicions ran rampant and alliances shifted like quicksand. The faithful were growing increasingly desperate to identify the traitors in their midst, while the traitors themselves were emboldened, reveling in their ability to manipulate the game's narrative. Camila, a faithful with a sharp tongue and a knack for deduction, found herself at odds with Victor, whose erratic behavior had painted a target on his back. Victor's defensive stance and refusal to explain his actions did little to assuage suspicions, and murmurs of his potential betrayal rippled through the group. Meanwhile, the traitors convened in the shadows to discuss their next move. Evelyn, the de facto leader of the trio, suggested they play it safe and target someone under the radar. However, Blake, the more aggressive member of the group, argued for a bold strategy. "We need to make them question everything," he said. "Their decision? a calculated gamble to eliminate a strong, faithful player who could unify the others. The challenge, tensions on display. The day's mission forced the players to work together to retrieve a series of golden coins hidden throughout a medieval-style castle. While ostensibly a team-building exercise, the challenge quickly devolved into chaos as mistrust bubbled to the surface. Camila and Victor were paired together, much to the amusement of the group. Their bickering reached a fever pitch when Victor accused Camila of deliberately sabotaging their efforts. Camila fired back, "If I were a traitor, do you think I'd be this loud?" The group's growing frustration with the duo's antics overshadowed their collective goal, and their performance suffered as a result. In contrast, Evelyn took the opportunity to play the peacemaker, subtly deflecting attention from herself. She aligned with Jada, a quiet but perceptive faithful, offering support and sowing seeds of doubt about Camila and Victor. Jada, initially wary of Evelyn, began to see her as a potential ally. The mission ended with a lackluster haul, and tensions were higher than ever. While the group's failure was partly attributed to poor teamwork, whispers of intentional sabotage swirled through the castle halls. The round table, a powder keg. As the sun set, the players gathered for the round table, where accusations flew fast and furious. Victor, still reeling from his earlier clash with Camila, attempted to mount a defense, but only succeeded in digging himself deeper into the hole. "I've been nothing but honest," he declared, his voice tinged with desperation. "The real traitors are sitting back and letting us tear each other apart." Camila seized the opportunity to redirect attention away from herself, pointing out Victor's inconsistencies and erratic behavior. "If you're so honest, why do you keep changing your story?" she asked pointedly. As the group's patience wore thin, Blake subtly stoked the flames, encouraging the divide between Victor and Camila. His calm demeanor and calculated comments went largely unnoticed, allowing him to manipulate the discussion to the traitors' advantage. When the votes were cast, Victor was unmasked as a faithful, his dramatic exit punctuated by a scathing monologue. "You're all being played," he warned, "and when the truth comes out, I hope it's not too late." The night's betrayal, a gut punch. With Victor's elimination leaving the faithful demoralized, the traitors convened to choose their next victim. Evelyn advocated for targeting Jada, whose growing confidence in alliances posed a potential threat. However, Blake argued for a more strategic move, suggesting they eliminate someone whose absence would sow maximum chaos. In the end, the traitors settled on Noah, a steadfast faithful whose logical approach and leadership had made him a rallying point for the group. Noah's elimination was a calculated strike designed to leave the faithful leaderless and adrift. When the group discovered Noah's absence the next morning, the impact was immediate. Shock and grief rippled through the castle as the players grappled with the loss of one of their strongest allies. Camila, who had relied on Noah for guidance, was visibly shaken, while Jada's resolve hardened, vowing to carry on his legacy. Fallout and foreshadowing. The double elimination of Victor and Noel left the faithful fractured and uncertain. Evelyn's manipulative charm continued to shield her from suspicion, while Blake's bold tactics paid off, furthering the traitors' agenda. As the episode drew to a close, the remaining players regrouped, determined to turn the tide. Camila and Jada formed a tentative alliance, setting aside their differences to focus on the greater threat. Meanwhile, the traitors plotted their next move, their confidence bolstered by their continued success. The preview for the next episode teased even more explosive drama, with a surprise twist that promised to upend the game. As alliances shifted and new suspicions emerged, one thing was clear: the battle between the faithful and the traitors was far from over. Episode 5 of The Traitors Season 3 delivered the high-stakes drama and strategic gameplay that fans have come to expect. With 2 more players sent packing and the stakes higher than ever, the stage is set for an epic showdown as the remaining players fight to uncover the truth. Who will outsmart whom? And how long can the traitors keep their secret? The answers lie ahead as the game intensifies.